Coming up on Mountain News this morning, we are now less than 1 week away from some businesses in Kentucky reopening, but with restrictions in place. And many in southern Kentucky are concerned about the extended impact of COVID-19 on the Lake Cumberland area. We talked with one local marina owner about those worries. And hear from staff and patients at an eastern Kentucky rehab facility about how they are working to help those in addiction recovery stay in recovery through online support.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Lacey Roberts, and thank you for joining us on Mountain News This Morning. On this day, we like to call it Monday 2.0, and this is the day you're going to want to get that weather app out and keep it handy. Let's bring in Brandon Robinson. We've already had some storms moving in this morning, and let us know what the rest of the day is going to look like.
Basically, what you're seeing here will kind of go back and forth throughout the day, Lacey. So it's just a day to keep the weather app handy, keep your rain gear handy, because you'll probably need it at times throughout the day. As we look at live pinpoint Doppler radar, watching this back out here to the west, basically along the I-75 corridor and back, and then you see this line coming into the Lake Cumberland corridor, getting ready to come into Columbia. No severe warnings. Let me stress that real fast, but a lot of lightning, very electrical storms, and lots of heavy rain. So, of course, the Weather Prediction Center put out something a little earlier that these storms, and they are moving pretty slow, could dump some significant rain over the area in the next couple of hours. So we're going to keep a very close eye on that as well. Temperatures in the 50s area wide, from 53 in Harlan to 59 in Wise this morning. Your headlines for today: we are going to see that rain chances return and stick around for basically most of the day. It will be much cooler after today, but we get a brief break in the action as we head into your Thursday. The rest of the forecast is on the way in a little bit. Lacey.
Thank you, Brandon. Last night, Governor Andy Beshear announced a total of 5,245 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the state of Kentucky. This after an increase of 163 cases yesterday. The governor also confirmed 8 new deaths, bringing the death toll to 261. More than 1,900 Kentuckians have recovered from the disease, and more than 60,000 have been tested. Last night, a federal judge ruled the Governor Beshear's travel restrictions in response to COVID-19 are unconstitutional. However, a U.S. district judge also sided with the governor on a ban of mass gatherings. A group of plaintiffs who attended a church service filed a suit challenging the travel of mass gathering bans. They attended an Easter church service and received orders from the state to quarantine for 14 days. And we are now less than 1 week away from some businesses in Kentucky reopening. Those businesses include car dealerships, manufacturing, construction, and pet grooming. But they will need to have the appropriate PPE and social distancing in place. Houses of worship will be able to open on May 20th, and cosmetology services can reopen on the 25th. Governor Beshear has not set a date yet on when other businesses like restaurants, movie theaters, gyms, daycares, and summer camps can reopen. And a lot of people in southern Kentucky are hoping restrictions are lifted just in time to allow for a popular summertime tradition to continue. But some are still concerned about the impact of COVID-19 on the Lake Cumberland area. WYMT's Phil Pendleton talked with officials and marina owners about their plans in the wake of the virus.
Memorial Day weekend is just a few weeks away. The big question is, what will the lake look like amid a coronavirus pandemic?
And then, of course, our retail store and the marina itself, you know, I understand we're going to get to come back on that on the 20th, the week of the 20th.
That reopening falls just days before the start of the busy summer boating season, but restaurants are not included in that.
Hoping to encourage the governor to put that in his phase 1 plan, because restaurants are key for Lake Cumberland.
Some argue the lake could be the perfect place to get away and isolate, given how families can social distance on their own boats. Right now, officials are wanting to see what restrictions can be lifted in June.
There is an opportunity to come down with your family and social distance, that's for sure. If, in fact, on the 25th that we get to increase the crowds from less than 10 to over 10.
Some believe the lake could have one of the better summers, but some fear that too many restrictions could prove disastrous.
It's not going to be one of the better years, I'm afraid, but people are going to get out. They just got to remember what has happened.
It's an incredible draw for the entire Commonwealth. Over 4 million people a year are coming to Lake Cumberland.
But will they all return this year? Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Somerset's mayor says that he sent a letter to Governor Beshear asking for restaurants to be put in phase 1, but he says he has not yet heard back. Drive-through testing begins today at Pikeville Medical Center. The testing will be Tuesday through Friday each week from 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. near the former Jerry's restaurant parking area. The hospital will only test up to 70 people each day. And primary care here in Hazard resumed testing yesterday morning. It is open to everyone, symptoms or not. You will need an insurance card and a photo ID. And also testing for COVID-19 is ramping up in Broward County. St. Clair Healthcare is expanding free drive-through testing services to anyone, even if you aren't showing any symptoms of coronavirus. Tests will be conducted in front of St. Clair and Moorhead and is by appointment only. With social distancing standards in place, meetings on Zoom or Facebook are becoming the new norm, even for those in rehab. I talked with one sponsor who says if there's a will, there's a way. Here at Hickory Hill Recovery Center, activity spaces remain empty.
You have to use Zoom meetings, stuff like that, to get that face-to-face interaction.
Jeremy Haney was an active addict for 25 years.
I didn't even want to get up out of bed and having no kind of life whatsoever, and was controlled by the very thing that was killing me.
He turned to rehab to heal and would land a job at the Appalachian School of Luthery. Though he is out of work, he is staying sober.
Get up, pray, meditate, make my bed, exercise during the day, just find stuff to keep myself busy.
His communication with the sponsor also helps keep him sober.
From start to where he's at now, it's been amazing. And what my sponsor has taught me, I pass on to him.
It is those lessons that teach him to live a life without the use of drugs or alcohol.
You got to find one thing that makes you feel good. And when you start feeling at a loss, you got to go back to it.
And adding a strong support system.
God and the people I got around me and the way Hickory Hills Recovery Center showed me how to live.
Haney becoming a sponsor himself.
It's very important for anybody in recovery to speak up and tell their story.
An example for those in the same situation. Since Haney's sponsorship, he helped someone purchase a new home for his family and help them get a new job. Frontier Behavioral Health opened a new facility yesterday in Johnson County on Facebook Live. They already have 2 outpatient care facilities, but this facility gives them a residential option. They plan to open in late March, but COVID-19 halted their plans, so they gave a virtual tour yesterday as patients will start the program today. Because of COVID-19, those patients have to be tested before arriving, and they have to follow social distancing guidelines.
We're going to start out slow. The first couple of weeks, we're going to work through maybe 6 to 8. The first couple of weeks, make sure we have our social distancing in place. And as we're learning to make sure that we have everything in place and going smoothly, then we'll increase hopefully to 12 in June, and then we'll get up to 16 in July.
The facility holds up to 30 people. The program lasts for 30 days before patients will graduate and continue outpatient care. The month of May is National Mental Health Awareness Month, and this year it coincides with the time where many people are taking extra care of their health to fight off the pandemic. Yesterday we spoke to Adam Maggard at the Kentucky River Regional Coordinator for Mountain Comprehensive Care Center. He says approximately 40% of their active clients are diagnosed with either depression or anxiety, and they have seen an increase of anxiety since the coronavirus pandemic started.
There's definitely been an increase in anxiety. There's no doubt about that, I think. We're just trying to monitor that situation and try to help, look for warning signs and things of that nature if someone's kind of spiraling down, and we try to intervene as soon as we can.
Maggard reminds everyone to wash your hands and wear a mask if you are anxious about the coronavirus. If you are being healthy at home, he says to work a puzzle, play games on your phone, or spend time outdoors.
We're continuing to track some heavier bands of showers and storms. Nothing severe at this point, but stronger storms for sure. There could be some hail in this one here near London, moving east toward over toward Clay County. So again, watch out. Lots of cloud-to-ground lightning, lots of lightning in the skies, and we're also seeing some pop-up cells down here in areas that have not seen any rain just yet. And we're going to zoom out a little bit, or actually zoom a little closer into this line here as it's starting to move into parts of the Lake Cumberland area, closing in on Columbia from south central Kentucky. And that's going to continue to move through there, but you see those little specks in there. A lot of lightning, very electrical storms this morning moving through that area. Take a look at temperatures. They are in the 50s area wide. They're getting close to 60 out toward Wise this morning. And your forecast for the daytime hours will start out in the 50s and 60s today. Could see some more storms as we head into the afternoon hour, especially if we start to see a little bit of sunshine clear out there, and those chances for rain continue into tonight. Lacey.
Thank you, Brandon. And thank you for joining Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Coming up, the FDA is now placing new approval requirements on makers of coronavirus antibody tests as they see unproven and fraudulent tests flooding the market.